Hello everyone. So in today's video we are reviewing a mid-size luxury SUV, the 2025 Cadillac XT6. So the 2025 XT6 is offered in three different trims: premium, premium luxury and the sport. And the particular variant that I am reviewing is the top of the line sport variant with lots of optional extras. In fact, about $17,000 worth of extra. And first one is this paint job that you see. It's the shiny black sort of paintwork, metallic one, and yeah, it does have a lot of glitter on the inside, especially when the sun is falling directly. Yeah, you can notice all the shine from that paint, from those metal flakes. So let me begin with the grille. Now the first thing is that everything shaped on this car is in the Cadillac shape. So this grille that you see, even the one at the bottom, the entire shape itself is in Cadillac badging, and even the top bit of the bonnet is shaped in Cadillac badging. So yeah, that's a wonderful thing to incorporate, like a badge in every single design aspect. There's this glossy black grille with, it's got like pointy design, and the big Cadillac badging. There's also this glossy silver color plastic trim given from one end to the other, like a half one. Out here there is more plastic glossy grill sort of provided. It's not a functional grill or anything, just the plastic trim. And next to that are the DRLs. Those DRLs also convert into the turn signals. These are the LED DRLs, and at the bottom of that there are cornering lights also given on either side. And if you look at the shape of this XT6, it looks like a mini Escalade, at least from the front side of it. And the bottom there is more glossy grille. There is no normal plastic, which is a good thing. It gives you a much more luxurious and premium feeling. Then again, silver color plastic trim given at the bottom, which is much more pointy. There's also a camera for the safety systems, and also the super cruise control that you get on this Cadillac too. And underneath this sits a 3.6 liter V6 engine that is given on the sport and the premium luxury variant, whereas the premium variant just gets the 2 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. Now on this XT6 there are full set of LED headlights provided, and on the inside there is also chrome strips surrounding it, and this is also an automatic headlight cluster. So on this XT6 there are 20-inch dual tone alloy wheels with the Cadillac badging in the middle, and the front brakes are the Brembo brakes with all the 4 wheels having the red brake calipers. There is also this Cadillac badging in the silver. Additional plastic trims on the fender itself to protect the fender, and not much skirting or anything, but the doors extend till the bottom so as to provide you entire protection to the actual frame so it doesn't get dirty. And also this chrome strip that goes from the front till the back with the XT6 badging. Even in the back there is 20-inch alloy wheels. And when we come to these side mirrors, these are power foldable side mirrors. They are power adjustable. They come the body colored side mirror with the turning light given on the edge. Then there is also blind spot warning on the inside. There is also this black color roof rail, again body colored, not even black, but it's everything here is just body colored. There is nothing like normal black glossy plastic provided, just this surround around these windows, which is just in normal glossy plastic. When we come to these doors, all 4 doors are the keyless entry doors, and there are Cadillac badging plates on the door sills in the front and also in the back, and there is this extension of the tail lights in the rear. Now in the rear there are full set of LED tail lights provided, turn signals, reverse lights, the main brake lights, all in LED. It's like an L shape on the side. There is also this body colored spoiler also given with the brake lights there, and there is a wiper which sits below that spoiler, so it's very cleverly hidden. Even in the back, when you see, there is a lot of Cadillac shapes given in the back, the badge itself. So there's this badge, then there is this Cadillac shape, even the bigger one. Even when you look at it from the side, it's much more pointier also. Then there is this XT6 badging, all wheel drive badgings. As standard, it can be switched to just the front wheel drive. Then the 400 badging on the side. At the bottom there are these dual exhaust chrome tips and not the fake ones. These are the real ones, and really like the shape of them because it fits very well on this back of the XT6. And there is also this clean looking bumper design too. Now in terms of the visibility, because there are 3 rows of seats, when there are passengers it might become a bit too crowded and the visibility might go for a toss. But there is a camera mounted out here, so there is a rear view monitor. So flick the rear view and you can get the feed from this camera and can adjust everything from brightness to tilt to the zooming. All of it can be adjusted, so then the life is sorted on the inside while driving this thing, even if there are like multiple passengers sitting in the second and the third row of seat. Now in terms of the trunk space, in order to open the trunk door you can slide the leg. That's like a convenience feature, so if you have a lot of bags, or there is also a button, press that, and because this is a luxurious car, everything is very silent on this thing. So when the, let me put this up so you can actually get a feel of how it looks. So first of all, the material quality on the inside is very premium in the back. It actually feels quite a lot premium in the rear also, and there are these metal scuff plates provided so that you don't damage your expensive paint work. This is worth $900 by the way, this paint work. And there are also tying points given on the side, on either side. There are also trunk lights given in the door too. And when the third row of seats are folded up, you can put 12.6 cubic feet of luggage, which is about 2 small bags that you can squeeze in the bag. There is also this carpet lining on the trunk floor, and it opens up also, and look at this, it just stays there. There's also a small bit of storage in there, and this can be removed on the inside like a plate that gives you access to a temporary spare wheel. So even that has been squeezed in this XT6. Then there is also a card slot given here. There are 360-degree cameras given on this XT6, and in order to record the footage, so it can also act as a dash cam. So you can plug in the card there and it will record all of it. And another convenience feature is that both rows of seats are foldable. Yes, and the third row of seats are also foldable up again. So let me just show you, and the best feature is that they are mighty quick, super quick. Let me do this again and show you. Look at it. And from here, let me show you now. You see that? And it's a flat floor, the trunk floor itself, so you can load a lot of items in the bag. It's just that it's slightly raised up, so you have to lift them up a little bit. There's a child seat in the second row on one of the sides, but the other side I can show you, the left side. So you press the button and it folds down the seat. The only thing is that you cannot fold them up electronically, but the third row, yes, you can fold them up. So when all the seats, the second and the third row seats are folded, you can put 78.7 cubic feet of luggage, which is pretty good for a premium car. There are not many arches or anything thick ones that hinder the usage of this space, and it's also pretty flat. And once you're done, you can press the button or you can swipe the leg to close it. There's also a Cadillac badging that is projected on the ground to show you that's where the sensor is. But press this, but this has like plastic in the back. Now even on the inside there are lots of places where there are Cadillac badges given. So this cutout in Cadillac shape, air conditioning controls, this screen, the entire dashboard, if you see, it's all in Cadillac badging, the main Cadillac badging here. So yes, lots of places on the inside also where these badges are provided. Now let me begin with the material quality. So the dashboard is soft touch material throughout on the top face, very luxurious that way. Even the side face has this suede material, a strip on top, and on the main side face of this dashboard there is this carbon fiber which is laminated one, and just at the bottom of that there is still soft touch material throughout, even on this dashboard face. On the door cards, again soft touch material with the same suede strip that continues from the dashboard till the door. There are going to be resting hands, that's all semi-aniline leather, and white color stitching on the side face. Again carbon fiber trim near the door handle, laminated one. Only at the bottom there is this, you know, normal plastic. Even the center tunnel out here, there is soft material, so when you rest your legs it's going to be comfortable. There are glossy plastics around the air conditioning controls and this main screen. Also when you're going to be resting hands, that's again leather covered. And even around the cup holders there's just like normal plastic, but it's got a door so you can cover that, so you don't have to look at it all the time, because the top bit of that is again leather covered. The steering wheel is leather covered, very soft and squidgy, and the center bit has the Cadillac badging. And also there's one of the cameras, I'm going to come to that, it's on the inside. So that is the material quality. There are also these speaker grills. You get Bose Performance series on this XT6, and these paddle shifters are the metal paddle shifters. And even on these frames and the roof, it's all suede material, just here again normal plastic. But yes, overall it's kind of decent and gives you good amount of premium feeling on the inside. Now when we come to the driver's display, there is an optional 7-inch digital driver's display provided on this XT6 and two fixed dials on either side, and there are lots of optional extras as I mentioned provided on this. Even this rear view monitor, that's also the optional extra. The 360-degree cameras are also optional extras. These leather seats, the semi-aniline leather seats, are also the optional extras. But let's continue with the driver's display. You can cycle through a lot of options, and to change that, it's the dial that is given on the steering wheel on the right side, and also buttons around that. So the first option is the speed, also the speed limit after that, then the trip 1, trip 2, fuel range, tire pressure, fuel economy, follow distance, it shows you in meters or in seconds, driver assistance, then the roll angles and everything, then the two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, info page. Then we go to the next option, media option, navigation, phone, then the night vision system. So it also comes with the night vision, and it works very well, because even when it's evening time, it shows you on the screen, and also it detects cars and passengers and marks them on that display itself. Then there is the detailed settings, in which there is units, info page options, display, speed warning, heads up display, this comes with that, software information, and that's about it. So that is how you use the driver's display on this XT6. Now when you come to the steering wheel, this is a round steering wheel, and it's also got the carbon fiber on the side of the face of this steering. There's Cadillac badging in the middle, it's all leather covered. There are also metal paddle shifters, and it's also electronically adjustable, tilt and telescopic, so gives you much more luxurious feeling. And there are buttons provided on either side. So on the right side there are buttons given for the media controls, whereas the left side there are buttons given for the adaptive cruise control, and also it's got the super cruise. So as I mentioned, there's a camera sitting ahead of the steering, so that detects your face all the time. So because if you put this car on super cruise, it constantly monitors that you're looking at least in the front, and also being aware at that the super cruise is functional. So it's for the safety features. So there are sensor and camera on the inside of that, and it works very well, the super cruise, and it's very relaxing, and it works on all the major highways pretty much. There's also an LED strip on the top face of this steering wheel to tell you when the super cruise is engaged, or when it is active, and when it is ready. So green, red and blue colors are what it is given for. When it is active, I think it's in green, and then when it's switched on, then it shows you in blue, and then red is when it is about to switch off. So those lights are an indicator while you're on the move. So that is the steering wheel. Now when you come to the air conditioning control, you get tri-zone air conditioning system on this XT6, and pretty much straightforward operations, but it's also operated from the screen itself, the infotainment screen. So there is a dual option, you can independently use the controls from here also. So on and off button, and on top face there is the fan speed button, and on either side there are buttons given for the temperature adjustment, then the recirculation of air, auto, and the flow of air. That's about it. And always on the screen also it shows you all these options also, so you can click them also and then go into the controls, and there are also buttons given on either side for the heated and the cooled seats. So the driver and the passenger side seats are both the heated and the cooled seats. And as I mentioned, you can go from inside this infotainment screen also to adjust the temperature. So we go into the climate control, and then same set of options: fan speed, then the flow of air, and on either side the temperature adjustment. At the bottom, on and off button, and you can even control the rear air conditioning from this screen, switch it on and off. But yeah, the rear cannot be used using these buttons, but it's only from this infotainment screen. Again, all the same options. Or you can go into the home, and there is a dedicated rear climate option also. So multiple ways you can access this air conditioning control on this XT6. Now when we come to this infotainment screen, this is an 8-inch infotainment system provided on this XT6, and it sits a little bit inclined and facing towards the roof. So on a bright day there is like a lot of reflection sometimes, and it's just that screen now needs a little bit of an update, because the car on the inside feels quite premium, but the screen, yes, that can improve, and also the graphics on it and the overall quality of it also can be improved. But there are lots of again options on the inside also, and it's decently quick, although not the rapid of the functions, but it's still decent. And then on the main page, on the left side there is the media option, on the left side there is the navigation, then we scroll and there is the audio options, where you will find all the connectivity options. So in terms of the connectivity, you can connect to this infotainment system using the Bluetooth, USB and wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. There's also a Sirius XM 3-month complimentary package provided on this, which is the digital radio. Then we come back to home. So there is also the touch buttons at the bottom for home and the mute. Then there is the phone option, and there is the inbuilt navigation system, so even that is provided, but yeah, it's not the snappiest of the system. Then there is Wi-Fi hotspot, so on the inside you can give all the passengers the data too. Then the user, then the detailed settings for systems, time, date, language, every single thing, return to factory options. Then the apps, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, audio, climate, Sirius XM navigation. Then the vehicle. This system is actually very similar to the Cadillac XT5. I've recently done the review of that. You can click on the pop-up banner out here and can give a watch to that one too. Then we come back to the home. Then at the bottom, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Then the apps option, what all apps you see on the screen. This takes a little while to load, so whatever options have been installed on this system, it would show you that, because it comes with 18 GB of online storage on the system itself. Then the OnStar services, which is basically a lot of things that you can do. So it comes with the premium plan on this thing, so you can call an advisor, you can have a turn-by-turn directions put on the screen, Wi-Fi hotspot, all of that for the help. Then the climate, rear climate, video recorder. As I said, you plug in the memory card in the back and can record. Then the camera option, 360-degree cameras, you can look into this, and multiple options to select also in terms of the view. Then we come back to the home, then the Sirius XM, and that's about it. That is how you operate this infotainment screen. And there are shortcut buttons given at the bottom for home, media, phone, navigation, and also the climate controls. So that's it. And on either side of the screen there are also more touch buttons provided for the parking sensors. Then the park assist, so it comes with auto parking. You press that and the car will automatically start searching the parking spots. Then there is the engine start stop button and the hazard warning button, which is a bit of a stretch on the other side, and it's like a touch button, not like it does not have any haptic feedback to it. It's the only thing. Then the lane keep assist button, you can switch that on and off from here itself. Now when we come to the charging, so there are two USB ports given here underneath the center armrest, which is one type C and one normal. There is also a wireless charger, like a slot that has been given, but that is a bit of a find sometimes, because sometimes you may sort of miss it out. Like if you are completely new, then yeah, it's put out here, but you can even leave your phones normally. But there's also a cutout provided, so you can remove this wire from the inside when the phone is charging. And for the second row of passengers, there are two more USB ports, which is one Type C and one normal. And for the third row of passengers, there are two Type C USB ports given on either side. Now on this XT6, there are extendable sun visors. There is also an SOS button and also an OnStar button provided. There is also a panoramic sunroof, works pretty well, and it's quick too, just like the seats, and it opens quite big. And yeah, again, it's become quite warm today. It was like about 7 to 10 degrees, but today it's 24 degrees. So the temperature is also fluctuating. We are in autumn. Now, as I mentioned, this XT6 comes with Bose music system, and it's got the Bose Performance series, and it sounds pretty incredible because of the quality of the interior. The sound is also quite elevated because of that. And in terms of the storage in the door cards, you can put about 1.5 liter worth of bottle and some more storage on the sides. There is this cutout where you can put your wallets or the keys. Then there is this covered cup holders, which are the normal cup holders. Then there is this glove box lined with this velvety material. Then there is this center armrest, which has this tray, and underneath that there's some more storage to put your phones and wallets. Even on the passenger side, you can put same 1.5 liter worth of water. I wish there was a little more storage on the inside, whereas in the rear door cards you can easily put again 1.5 liter worth of bottle on either side, but there are no handrests. But there is a slidable storage box that comes from behind this center armrest. So you open that and there are two normal cup holders along with some storage given there. There's also another storage provided underneath the center console to put your phones and wallets, along with a 12-volt power socket. Now there are more dials and buttons provided here around this center console, along with this gear shifter, but this is like a joystick to control the infotainment screen. It's like a scroller dial and also a joystick to go through the different menu options, and also a volume dial and some more shortcut buttons while you're on the move, so you don't have to touch the screen but instead press these buttons and just again going. And there is also a traction control button and a mode button. So this XT6 comes with 4 different modes. So the first one is the Tour, where it's in 2-wheel drive, which is the front wheel drive, then the all-wheel drive and the sport mode and the off-road mode. So that's about it, and it's just you have to press this button to go into the different driving modes. Now when we come to these seats, these are black color semi-aniline seats, and they also have the Cadillac badging in the backrest, and these seats are pretty comfortable for daily use. They are quite soft and squidgy, and the material, yeah, that's the leather, which is pretty good and pretty soft for longer journeys. And these seats are also heated and the cooled seats, so they are perforated seats also, and they are quite long also. They offer good amount of support underneath my thigh, and also there is good amount of side support, and they are broad too. So yeah, you can easily fit inside these seats and get quite comfortable. And in terms of the adjustability, so the driver's side seat is 8-way electronically adjustable and 2-way lumbar adjustment, and so is the passenger side seats. Then these headrests, again, they are slightly on the harder side compared to the seats, but the best bit is that the lumbar adjustment, when you adjust that, the seats give you good amount of support, especially during the longer journeys. Now on this XT6 there is a heads-up display provided, but it's got sort of a hazy display because there is double lettering and double numbers that I see. I thought it was my numbers at first, but no, it's just the screen itself that is showing sort of that hazy appearance, and you can see a lot more information on that and also change the look of that screen. But there are also buttons provided on the left side, straightforward, to adjust the height of that heads-up display and change the information that you see, so your speed and the speed limit on that, or you can go into the media options, then the compass, and it shows you the RPM counter along with the digital speed. And we come back to that same other option. Then there is the brightness switch also provided, so there are switches provided to adjust the heads-up display while on the move. And in order to change more settings, then you go into the settings from the driver's display and into the heads-up display. Then you can choose to see the display speed sign or adjust the rotation of this heads-up display. Now in the second row there is plenty of space And not just that, there are these captain's seats. But let me come first with the knee room. There is almost 1 full palm worth of knee room, and the headroom, again, that's also pretty decent. Someone about 6 feet will be able to fit into these seats quite well. And again, the seats are very good arranged, because if you see the amount of support they offer, even though they are sitting quite low down, but still you do not feel like your legs are sort of hanging in the air, but it offers you good amount of support underneath the thigh. And these are the same black color semi-aniline leather seats with the white color stitching, and they are perforated seats, but they are not the cooled seats, but they are the heated seats. So either side seats are the heated seats in the second row, and these are captain seats. So you can drop down this handrest, and both the handrest on either side are at the same level, which is a good thing, and so you're not going to be like tilted a little bit, so you can easily rest into these seats. And also the backrest is reclinable, so longer journeys you can just lie down a little bit and relax, and otherwise you can just put them up when there are passengers in the third row. And the seats are also slidable, so you can offer space for the third row of passengers too. So lots of adjustments that way. So you cannot slide your legs under the seat, that's the only thing, because there's not much room for that. There are rubber carpets provided, but let me come to the seats first. They are quite broad and they are comfortable. They offer the same amount of comfort levels like the seats in the front too. They are more flattish seats, and they don't have like much support on the side that ways, and even at the bottom they are more flat seats that ways. And in terms of the door cards, they are the same leather covered door cards on the top face with the suede material, this carbon fiber trim, Bose speaker grill. If you're going to be resting hands, that's leather covered, again semi-aniline. Then at the bottom there is black color normal plastic. This is the only thing that I see, that's what my concern is. Otherwise, even in the center tunnel at the bottom there's this normal plastic. Then there are pocket storages, and then always I come across some of the things on the inside of these pocket storages. So they are given on either side, the driver and the passenger side seats. And there are also controls for the second and the third row of passengers given in the center console, so you can change the temperature, change the fan speed, the flow of air, and on either side buttons given for the heated seats. And there are vents provided on the roof, so for the second row on either side, and also for the third row on the either side. And there is also this tunnel, so through that you can go into the third row of seats or come out. Even the second row of seats are also foldable, so they can slide away, so you can easily get inside the third row from the door side also. But overall, really like the arrangement here. There is no step or anything, it's actually just flat floor here. And as I said, there is this sliding storage where there are 2 cup holders and some more storage in the back, so that folds away too, so that makes up for the lack of handrest here. But you have the captain seats, you can just sit here and relax. But let's go into the third row of seats and check out how the setup out there is. Now in the third row, I have adjusted the second row of seats so that 2 fully grown adults can fit in that seat and also on this side of the seat. And after that, there's about 2 fingers worth of knee room, and also the headroom, that's just about tight, so someone about 6 feet will start brushing their heads against the ceiling, although there is a bit of a cutout provided so as to increase that headroom, but you sit quite low down into these seats. But one thing that I've noticed is that the arrangement is much better than a lot of mid-size SUVs in general, not just luxury but the mid-size SUV itself, because you are sat quite comfortable in the seats. Just one more thing is that the seats here are a little bit on the harder side. They are the same black color semi-aniline leather seats with the white color stitching. They are perforated just to maintain the design, but not the heated seats or anything. They have 2 headrests, so 2 fully grown adults can fit here. But yes, 2 fully grown people can sit into these seats, just that the second row seat have to be slided forward slightly. That's the only thing. I'm going to slide the seats back again to show you like how much tighter it can get, but then still the kids can fit in the back because there are anchor points, so you can put a child seat, but not the isofix ones, but just the normal seat with the anchoring points in the back. There are windows also given, so it makes things a little more airy on the third row. There are also air conditioning vents too, so you can stay warm or cold during the winters and the summers respectively. Then there are two USB type C ports, as I mentioned, given on either side. Then there is also one normal cup holder that is given on either side too, so that can also act as a hand rest. But yes, I really like the arrangement of the seats here, and you can even sort of fold the seats, the third row seats, from the second row. So the buttons are provided on either side on the door, so you can fold them down. But I've even tried adjusting the seats so as to, like, maybe, yeah, let me see. Yeah, so I was trying to adjust this, so it does adjust a little bit in terms of, yeah, the backrest, but yeah, this headrest every single time folds down. But I would just leave it like that, because anyways the third row passengers are adjusting a lot, so yeah, they don't have to adjust after that too much. But the second row of seats are also, as I said, foldable. But let me first show you how much further back I can push the second row of seats, and then how much is the room after that. So now once I push the second row of seats fully, so kids can fit after that, but adults, yeah, they are quite tightly squeezed here. And the second row of seats can be folded away. Just pull this lever and slide the seats, and then open the door and can easily come in and out. Because these seats slide away and these doors open quite big, so it's quite easier to get in and out of the third row of seats on this XT6. So this 2025 XT6 Sport is powered by a 3.6 liter V6 engine that produces 310 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque, and this engine is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission that sends power to all the four wheels via an all-wheel drive system. Now, the luxury variant comes with a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, whereas the premium luxury version comes with the 3.6 liter V6 engine, whereas both the trim levels are offered with an optional front wheel drive and an all-wheel drive, but the Sport itself package is just offered in the all-wheel drive option. And in terms of the engine response, it's pretty good for day-to-day use, but it just does not feel very athletic. It's a little laid back in terms of its response, and you do feel it's a very big bulky engine, so that's for sure in terms of the response. And yeah, the power delivery is slightly lagged also when you press the throttle, so yeah, it takes a little while to respond. But yes, the power and torque that ways are smooth in terms of the curve, but yes, in terms of the overall delivery when you need it, yeah, that time it feels like, yeah, it's a bit laid back. And also the gear shifts, the upshifts are fine, but the downshifts are a little bit clunky is what I've found. And again, there is also paddle shifters, so in case you want to change it yourself, then even you can do that too. But there's a bit of a half a second to a second sometimes delay in terms of changing the gears. But otherwise, overall the power unit is plenty for day-to-day use. In terms of the efficiency, so on longer drives I've been able to get around 11 to 11.2 liters per 100 kilometers, whereas during the heavy traffic phases I've managed to get around 13 and a half liters per 100 kilometers, which is more realistic, yeah, fuel efficiency you should expect from this engine and the transmission setup. Now, when it comes to the suspension, so there are real-time dampers provided on this, but it's just that they are on the softer side, but the dampers, they just take a couple of cycles to just damp down. But it's very similar to the XT5 also, where it has a very similar setup, so it just takes a couple of damping cycles, so that's why the car may feel slightly jumpy. But overall they offer very good, when the roads are very flat and there are only just minor, sort of potholes or something, then it still does very well. It gives you very comfortable driving experience, and with these seats it offers very good drive setup. Now when it comes to the steering, so the steering is electronic, but it's it's got a little bit of dead zones initially, but after that it's just a very big SUV-ish kind of steering setup. The feedback is good enough, but yeah, wish it would get a little better, especially because it's a sport setup and it's supposed to be handling very well, and the steering calibration is done for that. But yes, maybe a little more, improvement in terms of the steering, then yeah, it will be good, because the roll is kept checked, by the way, and that's how the steering feels a little more lively also with that. But yes, it's still got that very heavy SUV sort of dynamics in terms of its response. And when you come to the noise and the vibrations, so the engine can sometimes feel stressed out, that's the only thing, but otherwise it's very quiet on the inside this cabin. The front glass is acoustic, and which is why things are very quiet inside. There's nothing rattling or loose as such. And one more thing is that there's one more window provided, like a cutout in front of this side mirror, and that gives you extra bit of visibility, so the blind spots are like very minimal on this car, even though this is like a big SUV. But still, yes, that cutout helps even slightly little bit in terms of improving the blind spots. Now when it comes to the brakes, so there are Brembo brakes in the front and normal brakes in the back, and in terms of the response, I found the pedal to be slightly on the spongy side. Yeah, there is a bit of travel to the pedal also, and sometimes yeah, I've had to press the pedal a little more with a harder force to be able to brake, and you do feel the weight of this car. And in terms of the towing capacity, so it can tow 4,000 pounds of whatever you want to tow, and there are towing hooks, but those are covered in the bumper, so you have to remove that cover and then you can get access to the towing hooks. When we come to the safety system, so there are 8 airbags, 2 for the front driver and the passenger, 2 side airbags again for the driver and the passenger. Then there are curtain airbags in all the 4 pillars. Then there is also the knee airbag for the driver. Then there is the 360-degree camera system, which is an optional extra. Right now if you can see, like, yeah, it's sort of, yeah, it's like a boat, it's like a cruise super yacht, so it keeps sort of bouncing around a little bit. But yeah, so the 360 is actually brilliant in terms of the feed. The output is very good. You can select so many different angles from it, and it functions very well as a 360-degree cameras. Then there is child isofix points in the second row of seat, and there are also anchor points in the third row of seat. And there is also lane departure warning, lane keep assist, there is super cruise control. Then there is also belt tensioner electronic, so it holds you in place, and the seats also vibrate, so in case there is some warning, so when you're reversing or yeah, if there is any obstruction on either side of the car, then it would vibrate that side of the seat, in which case you are warned that there's something like a warning, so that's also provided. Then there is ABS, tire pressure monitoring system, emergency brake assist. Then the front and the rear collision warning, pedestrian warning, rear traffic alert, so many different things. And also it's got the automatic parking assist, so it will find the spot, you have to just inform the car, perpendicular, parallel park, all of that. So yes, it's quite advanced in that sense, and all this advancement also comes at a price. So this sport variant, without any optional extras, comes in at $67,499, whereas the one with optional extras, which is this one, so there are about $17,200 worth of extra. We're going to try to put everything in the comment section and also in the description. Check out that what's extra on this car. So with all of that added, it comes in at $87,000. Yeah, with freight and everything included, $87,000 is what you can expect with the best of the top trims with everything loaded. So I feel some of the bits are a bit extra, like the paint work, and yeah, if you can live without that, then okay, then that's fine. And I feel the premium luxury is the trim to go for, because it will have pretty much a lot of options and you don't have to shell out anything extra after that. But in terms of the luxury car itself, yes, it's pretty good. It does that job very well. It's just that some of the interior bits need to improve, and some of the design also, because it feels slightly dated now compared to its rivals. The rivals have evolved a lot more in that department, but otherwise, in terms of the overall comfort and space, I really love that. The space inside is very good. It's plentiful of it, like for all the passengers, they're gonna sit in very comfortably and very happy. And the design, it's just unchanged since nearly 2020. So yeah, it's pretty good. If you like the Escalade design, then you would probably like this also. And in terms of the overall appearance of the car, yes, it's got the look, and end of the day, it's a Cadillac. It's got that presence, wherever you take this car. So people do like to see this on the road. So yeah, overall, it's pretty good if you're looking for a car which is offering you good amount of space and comfort. Yes, that. But yes, it does need to improve in terms of its dynamics slightly. Now, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, then you can click here, and if you want to watch more videos, then click here. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care, and drive safe.